Hello everyone, Michael O'Brien here, and today I wanted to talk about my top 5 favorite plots in Magic involving money. Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Advice for Magicians, where my goal is to help you to take your magic to the next level. And I thought that it would be a lot of fun to talk about money magic in today's episode. I've been wanting to do this for a while. I don't know why I haven't, but I don't know. Here we go. We're going to do it in this video now, okay? Before I do, though, just a couple of announcements. If you have not already done so, please make sure to click the subscribe button and don't forget to ring the bell. That way you know every time I upload a new video. If you'd like to support the channel for just $1 a month, be sure to click the join button and become a Mob Squad member. Members get access to a bunch of awesome stuff, including full-on magic tutorials. There's like over 50 tutorials on the channel by the time you guys are watching this. You'll get early access to all these videos so you don't have to wait, emojis, badges, and even discounts in the O'Brien Magic Shop. All of that for just $1 a month. You can't beat that. Any other membership on YouTube. You're getting so much awesome content for so little a price. So anyways, I just wanted to thank all of you guys, all of my members, all of my subscribers, and all of you who are watching these videos for all of your love and support. It really means the most to me, and it is the reason I am able to keep this channel going. All right, so let's talk about my 5 favorite plots in money magic. All right, in number 1, this isn't necessarily in any order, but we're going to do them in this kind of order, I guess. Number 1 is the classic bill change. Now, there's a lot of different ways to do this. You can use a thumb tip, or you can do it gimmickless. You can borrow the bill. It doesn't matter. And the version that I'm talking about is the one where you fold a bill into like a small little piece, and then you unfold it and it is changed. So like a $1 bill to a 20 or a 50 or a 100, right? There's different ways to do this, but I really enjoy that plot, that idea of just taking a bill and changing it. There's also some other really clever ways of doing this. There's gimmicked versions of this, right? Where you can just wipe your hand over and the bill changes. There's ungimmicked versions of this too. So like bill breaker is a really great variation on this, where you show a bill and you just wipe it and it changes. That's a great example of a gimmicked version. And then you have another version that's exactly the same thing, but it's ungimmicked with completely borrowed bills, and that is Novo by Alan Rorison. I recommend you guys check those out if you're looking for a single bill change. Those are some really cool and really visual pieces of magic. Next up, you have multiple bill changes. Now, my personal favorite is Extreme Burn by Richard Sanders. It is just so cool. You take 5 $1 bills and you change them into $100 bills. And it's one of those pieces that when I perform it, it almost overshadows the other stuff that I'm doing, because at the very end, I could have done the coolest card stuff, the coolest coin stuff. And then they're always like, dude, that guy just turned 5 $1 bills into 5 $100 bills, right? Whenever I'm doing walk around, that's the one that people always want to see the most. I'll have people, hey, can you do the one with the hundreds, right? It's just a great, really visual piece of magic, and you can get creative with it and you can do it however you want. Now, there's tons of different versions of this out there, whether it be Hundo 500 or Holdout 500, or paper to money, or just tons of different variations of this plot. But the version that I think is the cleanest and easiest to use is Extreme Burn 2 Locked and Loaded by Richard Sanders. If you guys haven't seen this or heard of this, I did a review right here on my channel. I'll leave a link in the description below so you guys can check it out. But I highly recommend taking a look if you want to do some multiple bill changes in your act. Next up is another change. It's kind of different though. It's kind of a cross between the two. It's a multiple bill change, but using one bill. So this is Greed by Daniel Garcia. It's just one of my favorite things to play with. It is a gimmick. You do need to build the gimmick, but it's really easy to make and it's a lot of fun to play with. And essentially what the plot is you show a $1 bill, you fold it in half and you wave your hand in front of it. It turns into a 5. You fold it in half again, wave your hand in front of it. It turns into a 10. Fold it in half again, wave your hand in front of it. It turns into a 20. Wave your hand in, or excuse me, 20, right? Sorry. And then you say, you know what? I've never done a 50 before. Do you guys want to see a 50? And then they say yes. And then you just wave it like this and it turns into a 50-cent piece. and then you hand that out and you say, here, don't get greedy, and you give them the 50-cent piece. So it's a really cool, really visual piece of magic. I personally have actually started doing it where I don't do the 50-cent piece at the end. I do, in fact, do a $50 bill. I wave it, I change it into a $50 bill, I unfold the 50, and now that can be handed out and it can be completely examined because you're actually switching into the bill at the end. So a lot of really cool things you can do with greed. You can do the 50-cent piece and then hand that out, and then they can keep the 50-cent piece and you keep their original dollar that they gave you. Or if you don't want to borrow anything or hand anything out, you can just do this as a visual moment during your act. One thing that I've started actually doing is borrowing a bill from someone, doing the greed thing and changing it, and then being like, here, I'll teach you how to do this with your own bill, right? And then I have them everyone takes out their dollars, and they fold it up, right? And I do this gag where I say, your bill has just increased. Go ahead and unfold it. And they do, and it's still a 1. And they go, you see all the creases in the middle? And then you get that, where they groan and they roll their eyes. It's just a fun little moment to do, right? But yes, check out Greed by Daniel Garcia. Next up is the torn and restored bill plot. Now there are tons of different variations out there. There are gimmicked versions, ungimmicked versions, versions that look really amazing, and versions that they could use a little bit of work. But one that I think that ticks all of the boxes that I really enjoy is Revamp by Nicholas Lawrence. I did a review on this one as well, so you guys should go check that out. Link in the description below. But it's just a really cool way to tear a bill off. You tear the corner of a bill, you show both sides just like this, you hold it with one hand and you just throw the corner, and the corner just jumps back onto the end of the bill. You can tug on it, you can hand out the bill, and they can keep it. The bill can even be signed if you want it to. It's super visual, super clean. You do have to build a gimmick if you want to perform it with real money, but it just looks amazing. It's a perfect version of the classic torn and restored bill plot. Like I said, there are tons of different versions of this out there, but that's the one that I enjoy the most. Last but not least is the pen through the bill, and this is a pen through anything, pen through paper, pen through bill. There's the impossible pen through bill. There's key through bill. I think it's called ignition or something like that. I forget off the top of my head. A lot of these plots use kind of the same type of gimmick. And essentially what you do is you borrow a bill from someone, you can have it signed, you puncture the bill with the pen or the key or whatever, right? And then you rip it straight out of the bill, you heal the bill, you hand out the bill, and then most gimmicks, for the most part, you can hand out as well and they can examine. Like I know the key gimmick you can have examined, and the pen through bill variation that I use you can have examined. And there's also the I think it's called the impossible pen through bill. I haven't played with it, but from what I understand, that version's cleanup is essentially there is no cleanup and it's still examinable. You can hand the pen straight away out and they can check out everything. So a lot of really cool stuff you can do. But yeah, these are my favorite plots in Magic using money. In many instances, the bills can be borrowed, which is really cool. But I highly recommend you guys check all of this stuff out. And question for you, what is your favorite piece of money magic to perform in your act? Thank you so much for watching this video. If you haven't already done so, make sure to click the subscribe button and don't forget to ring the bell. That way you'll know every time I upload a new video. If you'd like to check out some more magic, visit us at o'brienmagic.com and be sure to check out our online magic shop where you will find the latest and greatest magic books, downloads, and accessories.